Hello, and welcome to episode 125 of Bardic Quest. In this episode, our heroes finally settle down for a much-needed long rest in the comfort of the Stonehill Inn. However, something is keeping one of the party members up this night. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest.
Well, Thorik, the long game played off.
I come in with the press to the wall and I thump the wall. So get away from there, you rat.
They're having a cute moment. Anyway, in case you were fearing for your life tonight, I am going to dress as someone different.
A little role play tonight. I wasn't expecting that so soon, Sergei.
Thorik, well, it is in the air, isn't it? No, I'm going to dress as an old hag, I think.
Well, not my personal choice, but
Yeah, well, it will save us from being stabbed, I hope.
great. Thorik's in the tub, like eating an apple.
Eating an apple, obviously.
He's like combing his beard out, and there's like detritus and like twigs and like small pieces of stone and maybe like a claw from some creature like embedded in his beard that he's getting out.
Cool.
Yeah, from something, I don't know what.
I would like to get out my, I believe I have a disguise kit.
Mm-hmm.
I do. And I would like to start dressing up.
Okay.
I'm just going to activate the security systems in the room as well. And I just get the chair and just like wedge it under the door handle.
It opens from the other side. Fucking the Big Lebowski.
All right. Just to check, because I presume you are proficient in disguise kit, yes?
Yes.
All right. Just to set a level for being able to see through your disguise, should anybody wish to, could I get a deception check plus your proficiency? In fact, are you proficient in deception? I imagine you are.
I am proficient in deception, yes. I'm not proficient in a disguise kit, I've just found out.
Ah, okay. In which case, then, just a straight deception check, no bonus for the disguise.
Cool. Does this count as a deception check when trying to pass myself off as a different person?
So this is basically determining how well you manage to disguise yourself.
Could I use my actor feat to give me advantage on this?
Yes, you may.
Brilliant. Oh, that's fallen down the hole in my table. First one is not great. Piss it. Well, that's a 14.
A 14? 14 is not terrible. All right, could
Not the
you
worst,
just
but with
make...
a 7 in deception, it's not the greatest.
Okay, it's not great. But still, could you make a note of that for me? That it is a 14. Yes. Should it come up in the near future? That is the threshold.
It won't. So don't worry.
Unless
kind of like,
Thorik wakes up in the middle of the night and goes, "Ah!" It's like, can you see through his disguise?
It's uncanny. It was here a moment ago.
Do I look like a hag?
Agatha?
I would say you look hag-like, certainly.
Hagatha?
Oh my god. Great minds.
Ghoulish. And kind of like dabbing like white paint on my face. Or like white makeup.
I'm ready for my close-up.
Okay. So whilst Sergei is doing as intricate a disguise as he can, Marvellus, what are you doing before you settle down for the night?
So I'm in the tub. I've fallen asleep in the tub.
He wakes up cold.
I'm going to be so pruned in the morning.
At 4 a.m, you're going to wake up.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those horrible, like, oh.
You might even look more like an old hag than Sergei's just managed.
Method.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, you all then settle down for the night. Saga and Johann, obviously, you have faded to black. So, in the immediacy, what is there anything that you wanted to do before you actually settle down for sleep this evening? Saga, start with you.
Now we just snuggle up and go to bed.
Okay. All right.
I wait till Saga falls asleep, and then I kind of tuck her in and just let her sleep peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of tiptoe over to my things.
Yep.
And I get out. Johann kind of paces up and down for a while, and rubs his head and kind of keeps looking back at his pack and just takes a lot of deep, heavy sighs. And eventually, after a few frantic paces, walks over to his pack and pulls out the book that they found in the cave and looks at the cover and remembers everything that he was ever taught about magical books and how not to trust them and how to, particularly ones that give off a vibe of being very, very evil. Mm-hmm. And then also his mind drifts to, all the tragedies that the Brethren have had to endure and how many enemies there are left to face. And he thinks of the words passed down to him by his mentors about how the Brethren must endure and the hunt must go on. And that thought kind of sticks in his mind. And so, slightly ashamedly, he turns the pages and begins to read.
Okay. So, as you are flicking through this book, again, much of it written in all sorts of different languages, some of it abyssal, some of it infernal, some of it just in the common tongue. You are reminded as you're flicking through that this book seems to be almost encyclopedic in not just the secrets of certainly the enemies of the Brethren, and indeed the enemies of all good folk, but it also seems to contain not only their weaknesses but also some of their own methods. This actually, with some research, because it's all spread out around various different parts of the book, but with enough time, you actually think this book may even go so far as to reveal the secrets of lichdom with enough study. It's that level of detail and knowledge within this book.
Johann kind of takes a sharp intake of breath and then looks back at Saga and, seeing that she hasn't stirred, kind of returns to the pages and starts more frantically poring over them.
As you continue to pour through this book, whilst everybody else sleeps, you believe that actually this book is such a powerful magical artifact, beyond just being a book, that if you were to attune to it, might grant you certain abilities. Not enough. Some of it would require study, deep study, to unlock all of its power. But by simply attuning to it, you believe that there's a few things that you might be able to utilize this book for. One is that whilst you're attuned to it, you believe that you could actually recite words from its pages in a foul language known as dark speech, which would allow you... I mean, it would be impactful on yourself, because it would be quite taxing, but it would allow you to essentially issue, as a mechanically speaking, as an action, psychic damage to any evil creature within... non-evil creature, within 15 feet of you. But what is far more interesting to you, whilst you are attuned to said book, and again, there are many other secrets to unlock with this book because it is such a thick volume, that whilst you attune to it, you also believe that you would be able to, much as though it might be against your beliefs in terms of use of magic, certainly would fall in line with what you yourself as a member of the Brethren Vigilant might want to do, which is to cast the spell, which is an 8th level spell, Dominate Monster, once per day, which you would be able to use to telepathically issue commands to any creature that you see telepathically, which it would do, the creature would do its best to obey. So you would be able to command other creatures to your bidding.
Don't you dare.
Which, of course, is something that is a power that the Brethren Vigilant would be very keen to be able to access. However, the means of which might be something that they may be less enthusiastic about, of course. But,
or even just a case of keeping it away from everyone else.
Well, indeed. That would require you attuning to the book, which would take you an hour of study to do.
Johann's heart starts to race, considering what he's sort of scanning. He's not really reading it properly, but he gets the sense of the magnitude of what he's reading. And his old emotions come back, his vitriolic hatred of magic that rears its head again. And his initial gut reaction is to put it down and to just, or even to tear out the page and hold it over the candle that's lighting his reading. But then he takes a breath and he looks back at Saga, peacefully slumbering, and what she and Thorik and the others have said over their time together. And, even from the first time, Johann's been told time and time again that not all magic is evil. And it's merely a primal force. And he's kind of thought back about the people he's killed, rightly or wrongly, good or evil. He used to think that magic was in of itself an evil, and he thinks back to all the times it's been beaten into him, sometimes literally by his tutors with the Brethren. And for the first time, he kind of looks back at this book with new eyes and kind of takes another deep breath and smiles, thinking of the people he cares about. And then he looks at Stephen, thinks about the good he did with a temporarily magically infused sword. He thinks of Thorik and all the times he's brought him back from the brink, and looks at the scars that would have been if not for Thorik. And finally, he takes one last look at Saga and thinks at how much he's changed since meeting these people and how much they mean to him and how much he wants to protect them. And begins to attune himself to the book.
So, whilst everybody else continues sleeping, you frantically read through the pages of this tome, trying to gather as much information as you can, lest anybody wake you up and interrupt you. After an hour has passed, you begin to complete the attunement. And as you are reading this, you almost feel as though the book itself is trying to reach out to you and pour out its secrets into your mind with temptations of absolute power over all those that you would wish to destroy. I need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
A charisma... Oopsie daisy. A charisma saving throw it is. Whew! That is a 9.
As this book reaches further into your psyche, almost trying to give you visions of the world as you would have it, you are tempted more and more by the information hidden deep within the depths of this book. And you feel yourself almost getting giddy with excitement at the powers that you are reading about. And your alignment shifts to evil.
What the hell's...
What kind of evil?
So,
We're talking lawful, we're talking neutral, we're talking chaotic.
what is your lawful to chaotic position?
I'm chaotic good currently.
Okay, in which case then, your actual alignment is now chaotic evil.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Fucking hell.
As you are now very much enthralled by the possibilities that are now at your disposal, courtesy of this book.
Ha 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 ha.
Fucking hell.
Shit.
But this, the adrenaline is kind of pumping through your system so much at this point. In your weakened state, you are really starting to feel very lethargic. This has been quite a stress on your body, as exciting as it has been for you to think about all of the ways that you could mould the world to how you and the brethren would want it. This is very taxing on you. You are very, very weakened right now. And it's almost as though the book itself is encouraging you now to rest.
Despite the feelings that Johann has been sort of endowed with by the book, he still kind of walks calmly over to Saga and kind of slips into bed beside her and kind of admires her sleeping form for a moment, and then puts his hand in hers, gives her a little kiss on her shoulder, and drifts off with a smile that's not his own.
As you are sleeping, Johann, you begin to... Your dreams of a pleasant future with Saga after you have both declared your love for one another, begins to slip into familiar visions you have had before, of a world burning, of your loved ones, Saga included, all of your friends, all of Phandalin on fire and murdered, and the whole world being now a bloodbath dominated by everything that you and the Brethren fear. Demons, devils, creatures from far-off realms and faraway planes that even your mind cannot comprehend. This, whilst you are sleeping, is causing a huge amount of stress on your body. And your mind too. Your visions shift further, and you see a vision of this figure dominant over all the cosmos. An undead being of raw power, holding the book that you are familiar with in its only hand, and a missing eye from its other socket.
Motherfucker.
And then the vision of that undead being shifts to an old crone, purple in skin, with small horns on her head, and you realise that the vision you are seeing is a vision of yourself now being pinned to the bed by this old, purple-skinned woman, as she leans down and whispers into your ear, "Oh, Johann, you're mine now." As she places her hand, as you are paralysed on the bed, over your face, as you feel the life force being sucked out of your body, as you take 9 points of psychic damage.
That'll do it.
Oh.
As she sucks the life force out of you. I believe that brings you down to 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
She sucks the life force out of you. And the last thing you see, Johann, is her take this small globe of light that's just come out of your mouth and places it into a small bag that she closes before she disappears from sight. What, Johann, is the last thing that passes before your eyes as your soul is ripped from your body?
I suppose the mist all kind of clears and everything, the weight of what he's done has hit him and who that was. And he just kind of softly says to Saga, but also anyone who can hear him, and he just says, "I'm sorry."
And as those words leave your lips, Johann, your consciousness fades as that last drop of your soul leaves your body. I just wanted to take a moment to express our huge appreciation for all of our amazing Patreon and YouTube members. Your support means the world to us and helps keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of our incredible patrons and members, who are Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Bellaston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Chrissy Kirby, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, and Rebecca Hill. Your support truly makes a difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And as a token of appreciation, I just wanted to remind you of the awesome perks that you get as part of our community, from early access to some of our videos, going all the way up to ultra early access for some of our newer, bigger actual play shows, and exclusive behind the scenes content, as well as access to our Discord channel. Your support truly makes a huge amount of difference. And to those who haven't joined yet, I invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. Not only will you unlock these fantastic benefits, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. So thank you once again for your incredible support, not only to our patrons and YouTube members, but you, the viewers as well, who tune in every week to watch our shows. Together, we're helping to bring these fantastic adventures to life. So thank you.